All right, I want to talk to you about the things that I would never say to people as a cardiologist, the advice that I would never give to patients. Let me tell you about my top 5 things that I would never tell my patients. Number one, I would never tell my patients to follow a low fat diet, especially to be having oatmeal every single day for breakfast. Oatmeal once in a while, when it's gluten free, it's organic, it's okay, but it's certainly not my first choice. I would go with many other foods for breakfast. For example, I would eat eggs over oatmeal. I would eat salmon, avocado. I would eat bacon over oatmeal many more times over. But again, this whole low fat theory that was started in the 1970s is just based on a foundation of lies. Big box companies, Kellogg's, Quaker Oats, Nabisco, kind of all getting together along with the government and grain producers to talk about this. Millions of people have died needlessly because they're following that low fat advice. Fat is super healthy. Olive oil is 100% fat, and everybody knows olive oil is healthy. Look at the Mediterranean diet studies that show that olive oil is fantastically healthy for a variety of reasons. Again, the fat that you're getting from eating wild seafood, for example, high levels of omega-3, EPA, DHA, those are fat. People with the highest levels of omega-3 fats, lowest risk of everything, including cardiovascular disease. So, avocados, loaded with fat, nuts and seeds, all fat, free range grass fed meats, lots of quality fat inside of there. So, again, stay away from those low fat people. They are just wrong and it'll just lead to a whole slew of health problems. So, number two thing that I would never tell people, I would never tell people to take aspirin, especially for primary prevention. Now, please don't stop any pharmaceuticals, of which aspirin is a pharmaceutical. Don't stop without talking to a physician. But that being said, again, aspirin for primary prevention is a joke. And in fact, those people over the age of 70, it kills more people than it saves. So aspirin is not going after the cause. Aspirin leads to bleeding issues. Aspirin leads to stomach ulcers. When we're sick, when we have cardiovascular issues, it's not because we're deficient in aspirin. There are reasons why we have cardiovascular and all diseases. Again, aspirin is not one of those things. Number three, I would never tell people that their health problems are because of genetics. Never blame your genetics, please. Our genetics are fantastic. Look how we can look and see and feel and touch and taste, and we can make babies. We can do some incredible stuff. Why would we be genetically programmed to have heart disease, heart attacks, strokes? We're not. So don't blame your problems on genetics. Everything is a violation of a concept we call eat well, live well, think well. The more we eat well, the more we live well, the more we think well. That's the strategy. Don't blame it on your genetics. The next thing I would never tell people, and this is number 4, is I would never tell people to avoid coffee and caffeine if it doesn't bother them. So for some people, it bothers them, right? Some people, they drink coffee, they drink caffeine, their heart races, they don't feel good. For those people, you probably know, hey, stay away from it. It's probably not for you. But the reality is that the studies show that people who drink coffee, they live longer, they have less heart attacks, they have less strokes, they have less atrial fibrillation, blood pressure's better, cholesterol may get better. Coffee, many times, is your friend, especially when it's organic, tested for mold mycotoxins. I'm talking about best quality coffees. But the literature is good for the people who drink the conventional coffee, pesticide coffee. Can you imagine the benefits of drinking the good stuff? Again, it's loaded with minerals, it's got vitamins, it's got other nutrients that are antioxidants that help to combat all the oxidative stress that we're under on a daily basis. And then number 5, I would never tell people to avoid the sun. The sun is essential for all life on Earth. Obviously, we know this. The power of the sun comes into the body to do miraculous things. One of which, of course, is make vitamin D. People with the highest levels of vitamin D, lowest risk of everything. So sunshine is fantastic for vitamin D. By the way, the vitamin D receptors or catcher's mitts are located on just about every cell of the body, located on all the heart muscle tissue, the blood vessels of the heart. The blood vessels of the entire body are loaded with these vitamin D receptors. So we want to make sure we have a lot of vitamin D from the sun. And we also get it from eating animal products and seafood. So don't forget about that. Now, the sun also increases levels of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide opens up blood vessels, does some fantastic things around the body, opens up blood vessels, lowers blood pressure, improves circulation, natural antiplatelet, natural anticoagulant, preventing clots. The sun, get outside in the natural light. Many other things that it does, including increases melatonin production. So when we're outside in the sun during the day, melatonin is starting to be created, produced, stored. And then when we go night night, the melatonin gets released. And the melatonin is extremely anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, does some wonderful things for the body. Melatonin, create your own. So again, those are my top 5 things as a cardiologist I would never tell people. Again, these are things that most doctors aren't going to tell you. I'm telling you this stuff at Natural Heart Doctor. Enjoy.